everybody. How you doing? Well, that's good. Welcome to PHLY Flyers pregame presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app. Use code PHLY365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. My name is Bill Matz. I'm your director of fun and games for the evening. Joining me for pre and post game tonight, it is Broad Street Hockey's own Kelly Hinkle. What's going on today, Hinks?
I'm ready for some. The Flyers have once again managed to suck me back in with their nonsense.
I'll tell you, I really do.
I'm ready.
I really do have to commend them. Now, tonight, I want to see. Listen, Florida's real good. Florida's Florida. They're the defending champs. They've won the East 2 years in a row.
Yeah. Some would say they're a better team than the Flyers.
Some would say that. Yeah. But I am interested to see how they play tonight, the Flyers. Yes. If they're able over the next couple of games to, I'm not saying win 4 or 5 in a row, but kind of carry over that momentum from Saturday and turn it into not just, okay, this was a one-off and y'all got the assignment. Like, you needed to kill the Ducks. You needed to give us a performance that was worthy of that crowd effort. You needed to do exactly what you did on Saturday, and that's all well and good. But prior to Saturday was maybe one of their worst games of the year.
Yeah.
And I need to know if that was that clunker that was coming because every team plays bad now and then.
Right.
Or if that was, the goaltending's been bad and that's kind of been sinking them despite the skaters playing well. And now that, it was always going to fall off thing. Was that the beginning of that? And maybe Saturday was just an aberration because it was such unique circumstances. Mm-hmm. I think this is a very interesting fork in the road for this team to see where they go from here.
Agreed.
And that's where we are tonight with the Florida Panthers in town. And the Flyers, it doesn't appear as if they'll be making changes to the lineup. Joel Farabee remains a healthy scratch. Hinkle.
Testing positive for missing the homies.
This was at morning skate, I believe, today. Yeah. So Frost stays up there. He's the nominal 1C with Tippett and Konechny. Yeah. I honestly, it makes stylistic sense, like we've said with Michkov all along. I think these lines do make a decent amount of sense. Frost with Tippett and Konechny. Cates with Brink and Forster, keeping that line together. I thought Couturier and Michkov did kind of fit each other's style earlier when they're together in the season with TK. And it was like, well, we can't really make this work because they're both right wingers. They both kind of seem to be fighting to get to that right side. Mm-hmm. Now you have Ula Lixell in there for Joel Farabee. We'll see how that goes. Michkov coming off. He had that goal, that power play goal to break his little slump that he's been in. So we'll see if that line continues to show us a little something. And then Lawton, Paling, Hathaway. It's a hell of a fourth line.
It's a great fourth line.
The defense remains as is. York, Sanheim, Zamula, Risto, Drysdale, and Sealer. Drysdale coming off one of his best games as a Flyer. I mean,
good.
Did you see the post-game video with them giving him the belt?
I did.
They did the
little Jamie's better.
They pulled out the Jamie's better.
Yeah, it was great.
We have the next 10 years to discuss that trade, and could the Flyers have maybe gotten more for Cutter? Circumstance, like the talent evaluation, like they didn't want Marco Rossi allegedly, or it wasn't enough, or whatever. They picked Drysdale. Regardless of what you think of the trade, who they got, you have to feel good for Jamie Drysdale. Because it's been tough for him. The injuries, the team basically acknowledging, we don't think he's like an NHL player right now. If we could, we would send him to the AHL. That's where he didn't get enough time to develop, and we're kind of breaking his game down and building it back up, a la Rasmus Ristolainen.
Sure.
But to be in that situation against the team that kind of gave up on you, crowd chanting Jamie's better even before the goal, but that is, we like him. We want it to work.
Yeah.
But there's not like a ton of fans that are like, oh yeah, 1 for 1, even without the second round pick, that's a win. You know, we absolutely won that trade. It was a spiteful thing to say, but then he comes out and with that, even if it's a sarcastic boost of confidence, whatever it is, he scores a goal, picks up an assist. I feel good for him getting that opportunity to do it against his old team in front of a crowd that was pro him. It was cool for him.
Well, here's the thing. Like, you have two guys who are in similar situations with Gauthier and Drysdale. One of them came out and made a statement, and the other one hid into the corner like a little
Fart
baby.
noise, as Kelly would say.
Fart noise. So, I mean, like that I have a lot of problems with Jamie Drysdale. And I hope that all of them get worked out over time. But it is encouraging to see that he had the opportunity to either like, oh no, I'm playing my old team, I hope I do well, and like, you know, jinx himself or whatever, or get into his own head a little bit. But he came out and he absolutely played an outstanding game of hockey. And that I think is promising, at least as far as like how his attitude is.
And that's like mentality wise, if I'm going to ding Cutter Gauthier for his performance, like come on this post game, basically be like, thank God. Thank God we found out now.
I know.
Rather than like
too soft.
A week after we had to give him an extension coming out of his ELC in a couple of years.
Yeah.
Like, thank God we found out now, because if this is a like Tortorella has that list, I always say like got it, don't got it. In my head, watching Gauthier in both of these games, honestly, against the Flyers, don't got it.
Doesn't even have a puppy dog in there.
Yeah, like then I have to give, you know, good marks, a little plus sign next to Jamie Drysdale. Sure. Is he going to be a top pair defenseman? Is he going to be a guy who runs a power play and puts up 60 points? I have no freaking idea. But mentality-wise, it's encouraging to be like, this guy in a tough situation stepped up.
Yeah.
He could have been invisible. He could have been bad. He could have hid in front of it like his counterpart. And instead, he had one of his best games. Listen, I didn't watch him much as a Duck. How many Ducks games do you think I'm watching 3 years ago? How much Ducks games? How many Ducks games?
Ducks? If anyone in the chat suggests that they've watched more than 3 Anaheim Mighty Ducks games over the last decade, I will give you $10.
Yeah, I've hate watched a few of their games this year. They're on late. I want to see Gauthier fail. I turn them on, but you know, Jamie Drysdale as a Duck, didn't watch him much.
No,
but definitely one of his best games as a Flyer. Like those first 2 games after the trade really stood out. But since then, like, how good's he been? And he stepped up in that game. So high marks for Jamie Drysdale. Hanks, how are we feeling about these Joel Farabee scratchings?
So here's the thing. Like, I don't love it only because we've had this discussion 1,000 times.
Sure.
Do the scratches work? Do they do anything? Whatever. The problem for Farabee is he got scratched. His team went out and absolutely dominated start to finish.
Best game of the year.
Lixell on his own looked pretty good. It's going to be tough for a coach to make a lineup change after a game like that. So I don't even know if, like, Farabee might have gotten back in tonight if they lost that game or Lixell looked like crap or something. But kind of all the stars aligned for this to be a 2-game scratch for Farabee no matter what was going to happen. And that kind of sucks. But I do think that, you know, I know you're going to read towards his comments. They are encouraging. But yeah, Beezer needs to get his head out. Like, something's going on with him because we know that the skill is there. Like, the skill set is there for sure. He's just not doing the things. And I don't know why.
And that's like, to me, we talk about a lot of times like young guys, especially, but even maybe motivating or doing whatever, playing mind games with Sean Couturier, whatever it was, you know, like, does it work? And they like come back and score, be like, oh, it did. Like, or, you know, Matvei Michkov scores a lot.
Exactly.
Maybe just a coincidence, you know? But like with Farabee, they've given him like, okay, we're going to bump you up to the top line. And they're giving him the ice time. And for a while there, he's creating chances, just not scoring. It was like, oh, it's a matter of time before it goes in. And then it just never did.
He's getting power play time.
He gets power play time. They bump TK off the penalty kill, put him out there with Lawton. It's like, well, what has Farabee done really well historically throughout his career? Finish on the rush. Well, guess what? This penalty kill historically creates a lot of rushes. Scott Lawton, a ton of penalty kill assists, like leads the league in shorthanded points over the last few years. So you put him out there with that guy, maybe create more opportunity. Still nothing.
Yeah.
To the point where it's like, okay, man, you're on the 4th line. You know what happens to 4th liners? Sometimes they don't play.
Yep.
And that's kind of where we are with Joel Farabee. But we do have these Torts quotes on Joel Farabee. It's not easy taking him out. Tortorella said, this is Saturday morning. Sometimes you take out players for punitive stuff. Sometimes you take players out just to let them get away from it for a bit. So this isn't punitive. I need to get him playing better The guy cares. His name's being bounced around during the trade deadline and all this. He wants to be here. I am not going to give up on him. And that's
good.
Definitely encouraging. Yeah. Listen, like in my head, I just have the list of, does he fit the plan and doesn't he? I don't know if I see it with Joel Farabee.
Yeah.
Like, is he a bottom 6 guy? Not at this price. Has he played well enough? I mean, we basically have a full season sample size over the last 2 years. Like, his last 76 games, he has like 11 goals. Yeah, man, that's bottom 6 numbers. That's not even particularly good bottom 6 numbers. No. He doesn't give you shut down defense. He's a willing, okay enough defender, but I wouldn't say he's going to get Selke votes anytime soon.
No, I don't think
he's just he's
a guy.
Middle producing winger right now. And you know what we have a ton of?
A lot of those.
Like, I just don't see it.
He's turned into just a guy.
That's all he's been.
And that's a bummer.
That's all he's been these last, this last year's worth of games. So we'll see if he turns it around. I don't know with the term and money left. Like, can they trade him at this deadline? Do they want to give him more time? Personally, I think he's one of these guys. Like, I don't know. He's played every single game under John Tortorella until now. So
he strikes me as
do we need more time to evaluate?
like a part of a package kind of guy.
Yeah, he's not the centerpiece.
Here's all these things, and we'll also give you a lightly used Joel Farabee.
Especially if it's for like one of the things they so badly need, another top 4 defender, or a center, a 1 or 2 C. Quite honestly,
or 3 maybe.
Like they need both of those things. I don't know if he's ever a 1-for-1 kind of a guy, but he strikes me as part of a trade package.
Because you could see an NHL general manager looking at his work over the years and being like, there might be something there. Maybe we can fix
20 goals in a shortened season. Like, we've seen it before. It's why we kind of, for a lot of this season, we're like, it's coming. It's going to come. You see the process. It's still good. And then when that slips, you go, well, when are they going to get out of this?
Exactly.
He's not trending in the right direction. So that's Joel Farabee right now. He comes out. Ula Liksell comes in. We get more time to look at Liksell. And
not mad at
honestly, it's not a, we're just going to plug Eric Johnson in because someone has to play. Like, okay, here's a chance to get a look at another guy. I don't know what the hell Ula Liksell is, but why not find out? Like, he led the Phantoms in scoring before he got called up. Like, he just got passed by Tuamala. Like, he's a really good AHL player. So let's see if he can be an NHL player. All right. Let's do that here. Before we go any further, I got to tell you about Rothman Orthopedics. If you've got aching joints, if you've got cramping hands, if your back's out of whack, Rothman's got you. At Rothman Orthopedics, they're practicing specialized care, and that's been their passion for over 50 years. Their mission is high-quality, compassionate, and affordable care rooted in research leading to new treatments and better outcomes. Each Rothman doc is laser-focused on their specialty. Whether it's hip, knee, spine, you name it, they have a team for each body part right in your backyard so you can get back to what you specialize in, because they're Rothman Orthopedics and they specialize in you. Rothman Orthopedics, specializing in orthopedics and you. Visit rothmanortho.com/PHLY to learn more and make an appointment today. Let's talk some goalies, Hanks.
Let's.
So Sam Ersson has the 22 save shutout against the Ducks. Like we said on postgame, he was good. Like Charlie said on postgame when he shout out to Steve and Tyler as well.
Great job.
They had huge view numbers. They did a great job filling in. They are excellent. Didn't miss a beat. Of course, when Vince asks me how I thought they did, I'm going to trash them because I need this job. No, they did a tremendous job. I would never trash my coworkers.
I know.
Except Charlie.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
But only when he's not here.
Yeah. Obviously. Yeah. Ersson has the 22 save shutout. It's not as if he was tested a ton. The Ducks, they sucked. They're a really bad team. Absolutely sucked in that game.
It's so funny to me that you would rather play there than here.
Yeah, the Flyers played tremendously.
All right.
The Flyers played tremendously. The Ducks showed you they are a rebuilding team. And honestly, I think they showed you why they went out and okay, we're going to get Radko Gudas. We're going to name him captain. And then Jacob Trouba becomes available, and they're like, yeah, man, we'll take Jacob Trouba. I think they're looking at the way we're doing it and being like, yeah, it's good to get these young players this experience. We have all these good high draft picks. We're bringing them in. We're bringing them along.
But also
it's
we need
just
goons.
kind of the running around, like that thing Mike Richards talked about in the on the Nasty Knuckles that I played for you. Where he's like, sometimes you bring in these young guys and they're just running around. They don't really know how to like take that next step.
Yeah.
And that to me is the Ducks. Like they're just kind of young dudes playing out there without any, we just don't got it tonight.
There's not a lot of structure there.
Yeah, there's just very little going on. And I think the Ducks kind of looked at the Flyers and were like, maybe we need a little bit of that. But they flat out stunk. But Sam Ersson made all the saves.
He did.
You can't. What's he supposed to do? Save shots that weren't taken.
Let's not pretend we haven't seen Sam Ersson let in clunkers. Like he could have done that.
This team and the bad goals that they have let in this year. Like there's a reason they have the worst save percentage since like 1993-94, as Charlie wrote in his article the other day.
And subscribe.
Yeah, that's so Sam Ersson has played a few games in a row now. And I got to be honest with you, Hinks. I get the strategy. Like, all right, that Ducks game, we needed to win.
Yeah.
Like, that was, honestly, it's like a Cowboys game when the Eagles are Like, honestly, win 2 games this year and it's only against the Cowboys.
Yeah, that's
like,
the thing. You would have lost a lot of fans.
If the Flyers were 1-81 this season.
It had to be that
But you beat the hell out of the Ducks on Saturday, January 11th. Dope.
Yeah.
Like, good season, boys.
It was
Way to go.
It was a must-win.
So Sam Ersson plays in that one. I want to go with a 1-1-1, like 1-2-3, 1-2-3 goalie rotation. Play all 3.
Yeah.
See how it goes. Sam Ersson, the workload, clearly, like last year, he just fell apart. This year, he's falling apart physically. Like, he's been hurt 3 times. So why are we doing this thing that he clearly can't handle? But they do have now, like, they needed to win that game, so you play your best goalie. Okay.
Fair.
Fine. Now it's a back-to-back, and like Elliot Friedman talking about something else on 32 Thoughts today, like the idea is always you have the best chance to win the first game of a back-to-back.
Yes.
So play the goalie who gives you the best chance.
Sure.
However, like it's Florida, and we saw, okay, Ivan Fedotov's the number 2. Well, last time against Florida, Ivan Fedotov got pulled after 20 minutes.
It was not good.
And sat for a month.
Yeah.
So maybe don't put him in that situation. All right, but tomorrow's Columbus. Like, you have a chance to win that game. Columbus has been good, but they're not the freaking Florida Panthers.
Right.
I don't know, maybe Ersson tomorrow. It doesn't really make a ton of difference.
No.
But I see the spot they're in right now. But I still am very much for the 1-2-3.
I'm with you.
Like, everyone plays 1 out of every 3. Like, that's it.
I'm honestly, because it makes the most sense. I've talked myself in and out of Ersson starting tonight like 6 times today. Because like my thought is like, okay, yes, he gives you the best opportunity to win this game. Yeah, you play your better goaltender against the better team. But then also, like, maybe you give him the easier game so that he doesn't hurt himself again. Because he's probably going to have to make some really tough saves tonight against an incredibly good hockey team. Whereas tomorrow, maybe not so many snipes coming in at you from somebody of Matvei Tkachuk's caliber. So, you know, I don't know. Like you said, it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. But I do hope that they are not thinking of this being like a 4 out of every 5 games.
That's okay. Ersson's back. He's the number 1. And so let's play him. Yeah, like 3 out of 4, 4 out, like.
It's too many.
No.
Yeah.
He clearly can't handle the workload. It's not going to work. Let's see if we can put him on a schedule that actually fits. Like, we're talking about role and where you fit into the future. I like Sam Ersson. I really like his mental makeup. I think he has what it takes to be an NHL goalie. At this point, it's pretty clear he's not a number 1. The Flyers do not have a number 1. Maybe it's Bjarnason. Maybe it's Zavragin. Maybe it's Kolosov in a few years. I think he could be a part of this thing, Sam Ersson.
Sure.
I do not think it's going to be his number one. So why continue to put him in this role where he's not going to succeed?
Also, he's not going to be anything if he hurts his groin.
Yeah, that's the other thing is, okay, and now we just destroyed this guy because his groin is Swiss cheese.
Exactly.
Like,
Can't have
it's
that.
just a frayed rope, like holding his legs together.
You don't want that. It's not good.
Okay, so now he has no chance to be anything.
Exactly.
Because his legs don't work. Like, I don't see the point. But right now with the spot they're in, okay, I just don't think it makes a ton of sense for the next, whatever they have left, like 39 games or whatever the hell it is. All right, Hanks, let's get to the bets. That's right. This pregame pick segment is brought to you by Bet365. Use code PHLY365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 or older and physically located in PA. If you or someone who has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, just one tonight. And I'm really hoping. Now, honestly, I wanted to get Michkov just a point. Okay. Over half a point was hoping for. But he was only listed in the goal market. He wasn't up in the assist or the points over-unders. So we're going to go with an anytime goal. It's plus 275, so it's better than it's been a lot of the season, more of a payoff.
He's getting it.
And it makes sense because, listen, the Anaheim goal, power play goal, that was his first goal in 6 games. He only has 2 goals and 1 assist through his last 14. It's been a really rough stretch for Matvei Michkov.
Yeah.
Maybe we've heard just struggling having the energy night in, night out. There are nights he has it. We saw like that 8-shot on goal game a few games ago. There's nights where he's really on, and there's nights where he's just trying to get himself through it. He needs an NHL offseason program.
Yes.
He needs to build up the strength to be able to get through this 82-game schedule, the physicality of the league. But maybe he can get on a little bit of a run here. Maybe he can get himself back into this Calder race. So we're going to take a Michkov anytime goal at plus 275.
I'm feeling good about it. And I mean, if he's going to score tonight or tomorrow, it'll probably be tonight, right? Because tomorrow he'll be sleepy.
Yeah, one would think.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about the Florida Panthers and really the season series the Flyers have played with them, because the Panthers are very good, and we know that. They've won the East 2 years in a row. They won the Cup last season. They're awesome. But the regular season, it seems as if they're capable of beating anybody on every night, but they might not have it like for weeks in a row.
Yeah.
They're not quite that. And listen, they're in second place in the Atlantic. They have 53 points, a .616 points percentage. They're not struggling by any means, but they're not exactly playing like one of the elite teams. They have a plus 11 goal differential. Like you look at Tampa Bay in third place, they're plus 38. So they haven't been dominant maybe the way you think they would be. And the Flyers have played a couple of good games against them. Now they're 0-1-1 against the Panthers.
But they looked good in that one.
But they've looked good. Yeah. November 9th, the Flyers lost 4-3 in a shootout, and it was that run of 3 straight shootouts and 4 straight overtime games.
I didn't like that week.
Anthony Richard scored that night.
Oh, yeah.
Tony Dick.
Dick.
That was the first Michkov, I believe.
Ooh.
Or no, he played in Carolina, and then it was Tampa, Florida back-to-back, and he was out of both of those games. Okay. So it was the second game he was scratched. But they look good. It was a team that seemed to be getting something going. They, again, played 4 straight overtime games in that stretch. And then December 5th, that's like one of the turning points of the season, because they fall behind 2-0 in the first. Fedotov gets pulled, and then he sits for a month. Flyers trailed 3-0 after 23 minutes. They get to within 3-2, and then Verhaeghe scores a power play goal, makes it 4-2. But then Mish takes over for just a little bit here. He has 2 assists to Owen Tippett within 25 seconds to tie the game 4-4 after 2 periods. And that's just one of those, as Charlie would say, like, you see it in Mish, like, yeah, we should lose this game handily, but he's so good. Yeah, we're going to go into this game tied 4-4. We're going to go into this third period. And then Hathaway scores to make it 5-4 early in the third. I love Garnet Hathaway, scores that goal the other night. Maybe I should have included him in the bets. I feel like he played well in both Florida games.
He did.
Florida is a real, like, you need a Garnet Hathaway in these games.
That's true.
Maybe I should have thought about him as an anytime goal. But then Florida takes over the last couple of minutes. They win 7-5 in regulation. A 7-5 game, and you're like, Flyers played pretty well. It was a real, like, Kolosov stunk that night too.
Yeah.
But Tortorella was kind of already out on Fedotov, and that just sealed it, really. Yes. So here we are. And now here we are. Fedotov's the number 2 again. But the Panthers haven't been great lately either. They're 3-4-1 going back to like right before the break, December 23rd. Aaron Ekblad's out now.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think the Flyers can use this game to kind of build on Saturday, or it's more, Florida's so much better?
Well, here's the thing. The best, like literally the best thing about hockey is that any team can beat any team on any given night. Like there's not a guaranteed win in this sport ever. It's the best thing about it. The Flyers do have a real opportunity after coming off of that game Saturday to build off the momentum. I hope Michkov comes in with some swagger. I hope that the guys are still feeling themselves. I hope Ersson is still feeling himself. Like, I really hope that they build off of it because it really could go one of two ways. They can either do that and win this game or have it be like a really close, perfect tank game where they play really well but lose by 1 or something.
Michkov 3 assists. Right, Flyers lose 4-3 in overtime.
Or they can just like completely fall apart. I mean, like this is this team this year, right? Like they either do one of those two things.
We're waiting for something like since that Leafs, was it the second Leafs game where they just looked absolutely terrible? I believe that's the one it was. Whatever. The game where they looked terrible last Thursday.
Oh, yeah. That was
let me just see here. It was the Stars game.
Oh, the Stars game.
The Stars game. They lose 4-1. They look like garbage. It wasn't just we can blame the goalies for this one.
It's a bad one.
Since that game, I have been waiting to see which way this goes. Mm-hmm. And will the Anaheim game just kind of be, that was a standalone circumstance because the crowd wanted blood. It was, and then the team stepped up. They represented us all very well, but now we're going to go back to what we were prior.
Exactly.
Or can we overcome the way we looked against Dallas and use that Ducks game to get going and maybe make a little bit of a push to get into this, actually get into this playoff race.
And do what the Flyers fail to do so often, which is capture a little bit of that heat that you built up with your fan base on Saturday. Like you had people in that building who probably hadn't been there in a while, and people were engaged in that game in a way that people haven't been engaged since the Drew 1K game.
Yeah.
Like the building hasn't been like that for a long time. So you have the opportunity now to prove to those people who have made a little bit of an investment in you, like we can still do this. We can keep this going. Look how we're going to play against the defending Stanley Cup champions. They can do that. Or they can completely fall apart.
So we will see. We'll see how it
50-50.
Goes tonight. It's
everything's 50-50.
Everything in life is 50-50, as Charlie often says. All right, let's hit these super chats before we get out of here. First one from our pal Gary B says, Bill and Hinks, great to finally meet you both. And Charlie, but I feel Charlie won't join till post. I think Ula gets a goal this evening. Yeah, Charlie's not going to be here till post game.
Gary Stradamus coming in with the Ula Excel.
Yeah, I like an Ula Excel. That would be cool.
It was great to meet Gary and everybody else.
Yeah,
it was fun. Yeah.
It's such a fun night.
I love putting names to screen names.
Want to thank everyone who came out. Yeah, it was like get to meet Gary B in person.
It was awesome.
And like I feel like I talk to him, like every other night.
I know, right?
Yeah. And it was like, oh, you're a dude. You're a person who exists in real life.
I like you.
So it was just really fun. Cannot thank everyone enough who bought a ticket and came out to the Sweet Takeover. A lot of fun and encouraged us to be able to do more stuff like that in the future because it was such a success. Awesome time. Couldn't have done it without you. And if you want to hang out with us, best way to do it, come on this Montreal trip, man. AllPHLY.com. It's a Philly sports trips and PHLY joint venture here. April 4th to the 7th, we're traveling up to the Great White North.
And embarrass ourselves all over Quebec.
Yeah, just really make fools of ourselves up in Montreal. It's going to be a great time. And who knows, maybe the Calder race comes down to Michkov and Hudson. Maybe it's decided on that night you're going to want to come out with us. So check it out, allphly.com. Get your trip tickets, game tickets, all that stuff right there on our website. And another one, second super chat before we wrap up from VO Noob. Let's effing go. Hathaway goal incoming. Michkov lacrosse goal.
Oh, tonight's the night.
It's time for the Michigan.
Why not?
Yeah, why the hell not?
We've been waiting.
VO. We have been waiting.
I like it.
All season to finally see one of these. Maybe he has the confidence after.
Yeah, he's got the Sally after that goal. He's the swagger.
He's
there.
Feeling good.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's feeling good tonight. Hopefully the building is rocking once again. Get behind this team a little because they did step up for us. They did what they had to do for us on Saturday, and I think we should reward them at least for one night. I hope the atmosphere's sick down there. Definitely want to ask Charlie about that in postgame. But that is all the time we have for you in PHLY Flyers pregame presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app. Use code PHLY365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment. It's never ordinary at Bet365. We'll be back as soon as this thing goes final. Follow us right here on the YouTube page. Make sure you hit that reminder bell so you get notifications. Never miss a live show. Follow us on Twitter at PHLY_Flyers. This is where I do all my in-game tweeting. And follow the podcast as well. You know where to find it. Just search PHLY Flyers. All right, I am Bill Matz. That is Kelly Hinkle. Until postgame, let's go Flyers.
We all silly like the mayor.